Hey everyone, Monkey here from Two Player Slayer, and this is the second episode of our four-part series for YouTube that has to do with Sith and my collectibles and all that nerdy stuff. Should I say nerdy?
Nerdy stuff.
Nerdy stuff, I guess.
The Geek Squad.
Yeah. So last episode, we went over all of Sith's Final Fantasy stuff, which is something that she really loves. Now we're going to get into the stuff that I'm super passionate about. And I have a little story about how I got into it, and there's no better game to start out with than the one that was my first one. It was my first 100% platinum on PlayStation, and it was also the fastest I've ever gotten rid of a game and returned it.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
that game is, it's also my favorite game ever, Bloodborne. Bloodborne is made by a developer called From Software, and they make games that are meant to make you quit. So they're
Yeah, they
very,
make the controller breaking games.
yes, they're very challenging and they're very difficult, but I've always had a love for steampunky kind of, art style and all of that. And when I saw the trailer for this game, I was instantly in love and I had to play this game. So I stopped after work at a GameStop and I said, I want that Bloodborne game. And the guy says, are you sure? And I said, yeah, I'm sure. I said, well, did you see that game? And he says, well, have you ever played a Souls game before? And I said, no. I'm like, what the hell is a Souls game? Dude, I've been playing games since before you were born. Right?
Yeah, he went in cocky, that's for
Yeah, I
sure.
went in cocky, so I got home, I put the game in. I died about 5,000 times. It took me 2 weeks to get to the first boss, which isn't even a required boss. You can skip him. And within about 12 seconds, he killed me, and it was all gone.
Womp, womp, womp.
I was so pissed off, and I returned the game, and I went and got something else. I can't remember what I got, but I got another game.
Well, it's when we were first dating
Yep,
too,
we
so
first started. Yeah, so she ran out and
I
bought the
bought
game
it
too,
too.
based on me. And
Because we were gonna play it together because we heard it had, co-op, and we were looking for a lot of co-op games because we weren't living together. And
yep, and
I returned that the next day. It was
yep,
like, what the fuck did I get into? And
yep.
yeah.
So some time had passed, and Sith and I used to actually, well, we kind of still do, but we used to we had a really big love of like creating video clips and uploading them and that kind of stuff on through PlayStation Share Factory, and we actually created a group that originally was based around sharing photos and video clips and stuff, and it became like a
The group
well,
is still there,
yeah,
but not active.
multi-console group where people could come in and just talk about gaming and stuff. And that's where we were doing before we got into streaming. Um, so I actually had a group that was basically about helping new players not quit like I did. And so I met up with a friend through this gaming club, and we played lots of games together, and he thought I was a good gamer, and he had says you should play Dark Souls or Bloodborne or whatever. And I said, oh, Bloodborne, that was a game that I quit. And he says, oh, well, we're gonna fix that. So he showed me a few pointers on some things that I was missing and didn't understand. And next thing you know, I was obsessed, and
Because it was
I
more of our play styles.
yes, and
We were,
now
we were doing the very, very wrong play styles.
yeah.
Those games require very different.
So Bloodborne basically is a game about you're basically like a monster hunter, and you're basically your whole goal in life now is to basically kill these monsters that are part of this blood plague. And so you fight these awesome creatures and explore these awesome worlds, and it's just a great
Where
game.
did you get that blood vial from?
Yeah, oh, this blood vial actually, Sith got me this on Etsy. So somebody actually made this. Pretty cool.
For
Um, yep.
purposes to protect our content, it is not real blood.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
It's
sure.
probably like corn
Corn
syrup
syrup.
and,
This is kind of cool
Or
too.
it's the fake blood you buy from like the Halloween stores.
Sith found this, I think, on Etsy too, right?
No, he was actually, I don't remember the guy's name, unfortunately, but it was someone through one of the Facebook groups. So we follow a lot of those like Bloodborne, Dark Souls
Trying to get the glare off of it,
groups.
but it's like
And
3D kind of the text and the characters like off.
he was showing off that he was making these and selling them. And because he, Monkey loves Bloodborne so much, I talked to the guy, went through him on Instagram and purchased the photo.
Yeah, so pretty cool. And this is a Bloodborne Hunter. These guys are called Hunters. And this is a Funko Pop. It's a Bloodborne.
Getting all kinds of glare.
Yeah, it's really bad. um, so I even have a Funko Pop.
Which is one of those you're not. I mean, if you find it, you're gonna pay a lot of money for.
Yeah, they're tough to find. So okay, next we're here with some Elden Ring stuff. Elden Ring is the latest in the Soulsborne genre, and it's their first open world game, which we loved. We actually put a ton of time into this game, and
And there's a DLC coming out soon
yes,
in June, so
this
we're
is
excited.
a badass boss. Her sword always just falls out, but if you
Slight
have
flaw.
played Elden Ring and you've gotten far in Elden Ring, you'll know exactly who this is because she's probably kicked your ass.
She's from the collector's edition.
Yes, and I got the Elden Ring Collector's Edition. There's
See,
her sword again. Oh,
like I said, there's a flaw.
she didn't drop that sword that much when I fought her, but
She dropped that sword
yeah,
through our heads and backs, while
yes.
fighting her.
When you pre-ordered the game at Elden Ring at GameStop, you got this little bag with a ring in it.
And what does that ring do in the game?
I don't remember. What does this ring do in the game?
It calls you steed.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is the you
You
can
have a it's not really a horse. I don't know what it is,
it's
but
a spectral steed. That's what it's
you have
called.
a thing you can ride around when you're playing solo. You can't use it when you're playing
Yes,
co-op.
spectral steed. That's what it's called. So, anyways, this is the steel book. As we've said before, I love steel books. Um, maybe we'll do a special thing like after recruits that I'll do my little sim racing area because I've got some steel books in there too. I'm not it's not up to where I want it to be yet, so I still need a little more time, but we'll do one of that one maybe too. So there's that.
There goes her sword again.
Hammer sword.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
do
So
secure.
next is the very difficult game.
So difficult that
So,
I don't even think I played any more than 5 minutes of it and never went back to it.
yes, it's so hard. Sekiro. I have the Sekiro pop.
It has a very, very different play style from like the other Souls
Yes.
games, and I have a hard time with that, what the play style is, so I never really got back into it, but I hear it's pretty good otherwise.
Maybe we'll have to do that, and we'll play it
On stream.
as like pass the controller. Just like the two of us trying to see
Oh
how
my
far we can get
God.
together. That might be kind of cool. But it's got a beautiful steel book. And plus, if we play on my character, I have a lot of stuff already unlocked,
Yeah,
so we
if
can.
I played, I probably don't even have the files anymore because I think the last time I
Yeah,
played was on PS4 and I
maybe
lost a
we'll
lot
do
of
that.
those files.
Maybe we'll do that. Maybe that'll be a cool little thing to see how we can do together.
How much
'Cause
we can get our asses kicked.
we're gonna get our asses kicked a lot, but this is the little art book that came with the collector's edition, and
Next up,
this is the statue that came with the collector's edition. I have this huge fascination with
samurais,
samurai and ninja and all that kind of stuff. So,
Ronins, and
yeah.
was there were these with it too?
Oh, those were. Yep, these are
Those
the
and
coins that came with it. Coins are obviously oversized by a great amount, but
for view and pleasure only.
this is a map of the whole region.
We
This
have.
kind of looks like a
I don't think
old
we've even
parchment.
opened that ever, like
No,
unrolled
no, I
it.
have.
Oh, you have?
It's just it looks like an old map.
Nice. Kind of like how it would look normally,
Yeah.
back in those days.
Yeah, I could have put it like in a frame or something, but I think it kind of looks good with
Keep it rolled
yeah,
so it looks,
yeah. I think
plays the part still.
yeah. Oh,
So
okay.
on to our next game, which
This
is
is
not
a
really a Souls
yeah,
like, but was a
yes, this
very, very good
yeah,
game.
this isn't a Souls game, but I put it on my Souls shelf because it's a game that I absolutely loved too.
Plus it goes with the theme.
Yes, it does go with the theme, and it's Ghost of Tsushima. This is I actually have two versions of this Funko Pop. There's two variants. This is the regular Jin Sakai. Then I have this one, right, which is a special version, only at GameStop. The
Which was a version we actually had pre-ordered and GameStop canceled on us.
Yes, it's a bloody version. So
Did Katie help find that one too?
no,
Or did we end up finding?
we ended up
I
getting
think we
this
ended up
one.
going to the store and saw it in store and was like, okay, we're buying this because we pre-ordered online and there was, that happens a lot with the collectors if you're a collector. You pre-order stuff and sometimes they get canceled because they take too many orders. Like they don't, I don't think they count how many things they have versus how many people are actually pre-ordering. So some people get screwed.
This is a cool little thing that Sith got for me as a gift from my was it Etsy,
Actually, it was Amazon.
Amazon.
There was a shop on Amazon that does cosplay stuff and
It's a really like thick resin, really well made
Ghost of Tsushima.
mask, and it's freaking
And
awesome.
actually,
Yeah.
Monkey's done some cosplay streams.
Yes, I
When he
really.
used to do a solo stream, and then he played the whole part. He has the
Yeah.
hat, and he even put the mask on,
Yeah,
which
yeah, I love this mask, and it's so well made. It's very like thick resin and honestly
they've had
not
it for a while
not
now,
very
right?
expensive for what it is. When I found out how much this thing costs, I would have paid 4 times the amount that it costs. So
And it's very detailed.
yes,
The
it's
paint
very
job on
very
it's really
nice.
good, and
Yes, it's really really nice. Yeah, very very nice piece. Okay, so for the next phase of our Soulsborne adventure here, we're going to talk about Dark Souls. Dark Souls is a trilogy that started obviously with Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, then Dark Souls 3. A lot of them are very similar with different bosses, and some have kind of the same bosses, but like different mutations of them. And they had some of the best DLC content and really good, fun games. And we've put in a lot of hours into those games. Specifically, the two of us have played a lot of Dark Souls 3, but I've also played a lot of Dark Souls 1 and 2. But one of the
well,
things,
one remaster, the
yeah,
remaster, because yeah, there's a big difference. Like two is really tough.
well, it's just bad mechanics.
Well, that's why it makes it harder because of the mechanics. Because we're so like
From
used
soft
to the new
from
mechanics that
software, yeah, didn't actually make that game. They subbed it out another to another
yeah,
developer
and you can tell.
because Miyazaki, the creator, was making Bloodborne, didn't, and that was his like life's work. So he didn't want to take his focus off of it. But in Dark Souls, in Bloodborne, you have these like little lanterns that you can go back, and that allows you to refresh your health and save and travel back to town and all of that. In Dark Souls, they have things called bonfires, and this is a bonfire. It actually lights up, and this one's from a
Bonfire lit.
yeah, this is a company called Gecko, and yeah, so this is a pretty interesting little piece. This guy here, this guy's, I'm sure, even if you're not into Dark Souls, people have seen this pose. It's called Praise the Sun, and this is
Sunbro.
Sunbro, Solaire of Historia. He's a character that's in all three of the Souls games, and he looked a little different in the first Dark Souls game, but this is his kind of classic look that everybody, knows him as. And he has this, like, it's the Praise the Sun thing. You'll see that. They even put that in Fortnite. They kind of knocked it off a little bit, but Solaire is a NPC character, and he can actually help you fight bosses sometimes if you become friends with him and you do different quests with him and stuff. But Solaire, awesome character.
That's also a piece that a friend of ours, because she also,
Oh yeah, good story. Yeah.
yeah, she also helped a lot with like getting us certain things that we couldn't find, and
Yep.
so she surprised Monkey with
Yep.
that beauty
It
because we couldn't
was
find it anywhere, and
it was sold out here, and she lives down in Oklahoma, and she found it, and she sent it to me because they had it.
I knew it was coming, but he had no idea. So I
Yeah.
even took a video of him opening it. I think it was like
Yeah.
a Christmas gift or
Yeah,
something.
I was so excited because the thing about
Yeah,
it is that that statue is made from
first four figures,
yeah,
I
a
think,
really
right?
high-end statue company, and they discounted the statue to like $10, so it like sold out like
Oh
that.
my God,
And
we couldn't find it.
yeah, it was like $100 statue when it was just $10, and I like my heart almost stopped and I couldn't find one, and she found it and sent it to me, and God bless Katie. So,
Yes, Katie was always good. So we do that. We help her out. She helped us out because she's a big collector.
yes. So here we have the Red Knight. He's from Dark Souls 3.
Did you find that one? Or was that another one that she helped find? Because
This is another one that Katie found for me. This is the only Dark Souls pop ever made. So this isn't the only one. But they've never
the
made
only
another,
line of
the
them.
only character. They've never made any other Dark Souls Funko. In fact,
Same with the Bloodborne, right? That was
Bloodborne, that's
just,
yeah, they haven't they've only made that Bloodborne one too. They didn't never made any Demon Souls ones. They never made
but they
any.
only made that one because of PlayStation, because it's a PlayStation exclusive, so it was part of their PlayStation lineup that they
Yes,
came out with all
yes,
these
exactly.
pops,
That's
and
exactly why they did it because it
yeah.
actually has a thing on it. You're right. So this is the Red Knight. This is the Red Knight. I missed out on the Dark Souls 3 Collector's Edition because I was playing Bloodborne, and Dark Souls 3 was my second Souls game, so I missed out on it. So Sith actually found this very good knockoff
Questionable site.
on Wish.com.
Yeah, I don't know if people even use Wish anymore because we have Temu,
Timu.
whatever the freaking how you. Apparently, we're all been pronouncing it
Yeah.
wrong, but yeah, that site.
Yeah, so this is a pretty cool little piece. It's you know,
It's got some flaws, but
yeah, it's not something
for what you pay
yeah,
for it, it
it's
was a
the
cool
only
little piece to add to the collection. Yeah.
yeah, it's the only knockoff one that I have,
Hey,
but it's pretty cool to
knockoffs
have.
can be unique too.
Yes. So next is one of my favorite characters. We're going to go into this is a line from a company called Van Presto. Okay, so let's take this and put this over here.
You actually have a couple for that one.
This guy's name is Artorias. And what's cool about him is in Dark Souls, you become hollow, which means like you get this, like, you could become possessed and become evil, right? And Solaire, Artorias used to be a good guy.
Solaire.
He was a good guy, and then he became hollowed. And he had this wolf, Sif, that basically protects him even but he says that if he ever becomes hollow to come and kill him, so you actually end up fighting him, but he at one time was a good guy.
It is sad, the whole story with Sif and
Yeah, you have to fight his dog,
his
and yeah,
companion.
it's horrible,
Good boy.
but what a great character. An awesome boss fight too.
There you go.
Oh, here's another one. This is by a company called Totaku. They make these little, tiny little statue guys, and it's the same dude.
Well, interesting story with that one is certain things you don't want to take out of the box.
Yeah,
Trust and believe, because he warped and
yeah,
like fell forward or something, and it was all like his ankles like just caved in, and we were like devastated. We ended up found another one,
yeah.
or our friend found another one for us.
No,
The
I
same
actually
girl
found.
that was it you that found
Yeah,
that
I
one
found
again?
that
And we
one.
kept it in the box this time
Yeah,
because
but I have a Bloodborne one too that I actually took out of the box and made it into a little thing. But
yeah, the one
this
that
is
broke
this is
actually.
Artoria, Oscar of Astoria, and he's kind of wobbly. He doesn't attach to his base, but
Yeah, he just balances on it. It's kind of.
yeah, they never.
They all stick to the base except for him. He's the only one that they
Unfortunately,
just didn't put little like nubs in his knees or something, so he locks into the base. He just slides around. So
yeah, I was kind of hoping that they would do more of these being Presto figures, little statue guys, but they didn't. I never saw any more. This is the Ferrum Knight. He was from Dark Souls 2. Classic looking knight. He's pretty cool.
then this guy's
This
like,
dude's one of my favorites, the Black Knight.
oh my god, he was such a bitch
And
to
he's
fight.
holding one of my favorite weapons, the Black Knight Greatsword.
Yeah, that great sword was awesome, but man, was he such a pain to
Oh,
run into.
well, there's a lot of them. They're
Oh
all
my
over the
god.
place, and they like kick your ass, but you get awesome gear for beating them, and
Oh, they
they're
will
like a
kick.
high level end game, like mini boss guys that you'll jump into. But there's a lot of them. When you go to fight the last boss of Dark Souls 1, you fight about 25 of these guys between this where you spawn in to the boss fog door, and there's like a ton of them. So it's a good farming area once you get high level to get,
Yeah, because they hit hard otherwise.
good gear. So now, actually,
Speaking
we've
of,
got this guy, and then we've got this guy we were talking about, right? So this is Solaire, and this is Black Knight. I've got actually action figures of
they didn't
Solaire
release a lot of those either.
and Black Knight. So I never,
Did we find those?
I found these at
I
GameStop.
was like, or did
Yep.
our friend help us with that
Yep, they've
too?
never been opened. They're still sealed, closed, and they only show those two on the back. But they do. This is number 17, Black Knight, and this is number 16, Solaire. So I think that they're probably like all different games, and these
Probably.
are just two from this game. And they probably did other games too, because I
Well,
didn't.
they release them in other areas, like other countries, because sometimes that happens too, where it's like it's Japan based only, and you can't, it's tough. It's tough when it
So
comes to being, when you're a collector, because some things it's gonna cost you a lot. It's hard to find them.
I love steel books, and this is my steel book for the
Was that a
Dark.
first steel book for you?
I don't know. But I went to GameStop, I saw it, and I was instantly in love with it. And I purchased it, and it has all three
Yeah. How many
Dark
times
Souls
did you
games.
purchase that game?
Yes, I've purchased this game a million times digitally and everything, but physically. And then I purchased this one just to say that I have it, and now I'll always have the Dark Souls trilogy playable on PlayStation. So,
And
uh,
when we saw that, we were like, when we were at GameStop,
yeah,
he dropped everything to
yeah,
buy it.
yeah. I paid like I paid like $80, $90 for
Trading in
this.
things just for the extra
No, I
credit
just
to
dropped
go.
my money. I was like, take my
That's it.
money.
Take
That's
take my
mine. Yeah,
wallet here.
that's mine. So yeah, I like that a lot, and I'm glad that I picked it up because you never know. Sometimes you won't end up getting it if you don't jump on it when it's there.
Yeah,
Especially with I collect the books, and you'll see some of the books a little later in the video. But some of these books are extremely rare and extremely valuable. So
and extremely heavy.
extremely heavy. Yeah,
Do
you
not
could.
drop these books.
Oh yeah, you could hold down a hot air balloon with these things. Next, we're going to talk about books. I've got lots of books. I've been collecting these hardcover books for quite some time, and they're pretty much all very hard to get. Like after they go on sale, then they sell out, and then they're really hard to get. So if you don't get them when they first come out, you have to pay a lot of money for them, which I've done on a couple of these, but most of them I've got, right when they came out. So first is my favorite of all of the Souls games, Bloodborne. Bloodborne is a game about hunters that are like brought it in like to kill these beasts that are like ravaging these towns, and your destiny is to hunt these beasts. And I've put like got probably thousands of hours into Souls games, and Bloodborne was the first one that I ever played, and the only reason I played it was because I liked steampunk. And I went into GameStop, and the guy said, I said, well, I wanted Bloodborne, and he's tried to talk me out of it, told me that, and I basically told him that he didn't know what he was saying. I bought the game anyways. It took me 2 months to get to the first boss, and I basically died in about 10 seconds. So I got rid of the game until I met a friend who was really into these games and felt that I was a good gamer and wanted me to get into it. So I ended up, he showed me a few things that I was missing, and then I was obsessed. And this was my first Souls game, but also my first 100% platinum on PlayStation. And I also have 100% on the DLC too as well. So does she.
Oh yeah, he was my teacher.
So next we are going to get into the nitty gritty of the whole genre, and it's Dark Souls. What Dark Souls isn't actually the first. Demon Souls was before Dark Souls, but Dark Souls was like the, basically the trilogy, and everybody still plays these games. They're very popular still to this day, and because they have very complex areas, very difficult bosses, and nobody walks in and just beats it instantly. It takes a lot of practice, and I've died a lot. But this one is the book for when they did the remastered version of the game on PS4. Sith bought me this one actually. It was the first. It was actually the first book of all of these books that I got. It started the whole collection of all these. And next is the unwanted one. This one everybody seems to hate is Dark Souls 2. And the story behind this one is that it's got a tremendous story, some of the best expansion content in this whole series, but it was subbed out to another company because Miyazaki, the creator of Dark Souls, was making his favorite game, well, this is his life's work game, which was Bloodborne. So he wrote the story and subbed it out to somebody else, and boy, can you tell the difference in like the mechanics, and it's just very, very different. So
Plus, originally it was on PS3, or was it an
yes,
early PS4
yes,
game?
this was yeah, PS3, and then well, that genre was on everything. It wasn't a. The only exclusive Souls game is Bloodborne. Now, this is the one that the first Dark Souls game that I played, and it was right after I had completed Bloodborne, and it's Dark Souls 3. This is a great game, but a sucky book. All of these books that we have here are all made by Future Press, and for some strange reason, Bandai Namco, who calls the shots on things like books and T-shirts and all that kind of stuff, collector's editions and everything, decided to sub out this book to a whole nother company. The book is nice, but it doesn't match any of the other books because it's a different size, and I don't know why. And it's very much like the Souls games because they're all very confusing, and they do little weird little things that just you like. There's an item called rubbish. It doesn't do anything. It's just rubbish. It's weird, right? So I think it's just meant to troll us, just like certain things in the game.
In the community.
Yes, yes.
Because
It's
if
like
you're having a hard time and you ask for help, the first thing you get is get
get good.
good.
Yep, that's right. That's even people who don't know this series actually know that one. So the next one is this is like probably the most valuable of all of them. This one I've seen in the thousands actually. This is the Dark Souls Compendium. I should be wearing those fancy like white gloves, but I don't. And this is basically everything to do with Dark Souls that you could ever possibly want to know, all in
All
one.
three.
Yeah, all in one. All of the DLC, everything in one book. And this baby is hard to get. And I fortunately pre-ordered this one. You can see the artwork on it is just fantastic. So this one is a very special book.
Well, this
It
whole
even
like
has this sleeve. None of the other books have this like special sleeve and stuff.
with all this Souls talk, I'm pretty sure we're not getting a Bloodborne 2, but do you think we're getting a Dark Souls 4?
No, I doubt it, but I think we'll get an Elden Ring too. Because they've already done, like, the thing with Dark Souls is Dark Souls 3 was a lot of the same bosses, just kind of like new versions of them and morphed versions of them and things like that. So it's like they're kind of done unless they just went on a whole nother side story. Like they have a lot of that stuff they could do. They could do side stories of like Solaire in Dark Souls or Eileen the Crow in Bloodborne. There's all these side characters that were awesome that you never actually got to play as. They were just NPCs. This book, I think, is actually, I might have shown earlier in the video. It's an art book that came with the Elden Ring collector's edition, and it's just got some really cool, you know, art and pictures from the game.
It's like basically the same thing you get with the
Yeah.
deluxe edition, right?
Yeah, it's fantastic. If you guys haven't checked this game out, we're going to be playing this game actually up this week. It's each week while we do these videos, we're going to play a game that is based around like those, based around this show basically. So last week we did Final Fantasy, and this week we're doing Soulsborne. So we're going to do Elden Ring, and then we'll
Well,
go
you
on
guys are
through.
gonna get a laugh with us because we haven't played it in a while,
Oh yeah, that's gonna be
so we're
funny.
gonna be a little rusty.
We'll have to get in there and at least like polish up a little bit because we're gonna look silly with these really high level characters and we can't even like we don't know how to heal and
We haven't
stuff.
played in like a good year. We've been waiting for the DLC.
So these books actually are the newest of my collection, and I actually Sith got me these books.
Yeah, so
And
Sith is the ruler.
yeah, so I don't know how was one was the anniversary and the other
One was Christmas and one was anniversary.
one was Christmas and one was anniversary.
The original Christmas gift I wanted to get him was like hard to find, so I went with the book.
So this is the Elden Ring Volume 1, and because it's such a big game, they needed to do it in two books. And just like the other ones, it's just filled with lore and all kinds of stuff. And this one has a map that came with it. So it's a full size, like a map that shows you all the different areas and stuff about the game. And then,
There's this stuff underneath the map too.
oh yeah, yeah.
It's layered.
So then she surprised me with Elden Ring Volume 2, which is pretty much the same, but more of the same awesomeness. Filled with,
Something that it came with.
oh yeah.
Forgot that was in there.
So it's just got all of the different monsters and all the different weapons and all the stuff. Now it's funny because I didn't actually use any of these books to beat the games. I like kind of figuring it out on my own. I just like kind of collecting the books because I think that they're really neat and they're really kind of artsy looking. But I actually never didn't use any of the books actually. But I got most of the books after I had beat all. Actually, I did. I got all the books after I had beat all the games. And these are some pretty sweet lithographs that came with the Elden Ring one. This is like actually like one of the first bonfires that bonfire. They call them graces in this, not bonfires.
Yeah.
Bonfires is Dark Souls.
We just call it bonfire in like pretty much
in
every
pretty much
Souls-like
every
game.
Souls game, yeah. And even games that aren't Souls games are just like Souls from other companies. And if they're still bonfires.
They're always going to be bonfires.
Yeah.
Like X will always be Twitter.
Look at this one. This is a nice one. You see that one?
That's cool.
But yeah, so that is my
Not
my
quite.
Souls book. Oh, I have one more.
Just kidding.
I forgot. This one's
Oh, wait, there's more.
yeah, well this one's actually not even a Souls game technically. It's just made by the same company, and it is Sekiro. Sekiro is a game about a samurai and a lot of weird stuff happens, and he has like one arm that he can do all these different go-go gadget tricks with and stuff, and it is hard as that's what
Yeah.
she's gonna do. She's gonna beep it out. But
I don't have to now.
yes,
You beeped it out for me.
yes, it's very difficult. You have to have perfect timing and deflection and
That's something we're eventually gonna try
yeah,
on stream, so you can come laugh at us.
yes, I think we're gonna like play this one as past the controller, just so you can watch how much we'll struggle. But yeah, it's tough. So, but anyways, thank you for watching, and make sure you come and check out our Elden Ring stream this week, and we'll be releasing one of these videos for the next 2 weeks. Actually, we have 2 more topics, and then we'll play a game that's based around those topics, and it'll upload each Tuesday.